Hi, welcome. My name's Louise. Grab yourself a cup of tea and let me show you how to prepare SVG files to sell on Etsy the right way. Remember to like and subscribe. I will put a list of below what programs I've used. I've chosen St. Patrick's Day, but whatever design you choose, I'm just choosing it for the 4-leaf clover, little bit of luck. But once you've drawn or chosen your design, I've used Affinity for the fact that I like the program. You can use Photoshop or any of the draw programs. It's the Inkscape that's most important, but Affinity I really do recommend. When doing these folders, the best is to save it as a folder, then save as your design. That way you've got the whole design together. As you can see, I've already done it once or twice because I've done a few recordings to try and make it as clear as possible. After saving, you need to select the whole design. By doing that, you click your left-hand key and move it across. Now it is all selected. So you use your arrow and select it all. I've grouped mine so that it is one design. I go to File, Export. Can be about, I use 3000 pixel. Don't go for 30. It's too little. Make sure that you select not the whole design, that you select selection only. Reason for this is I don't want blank spaces. Now export it as a PNG, not as an SVG file. As you can see, I've done this recording about 100 times again. So export it. I'm going to show at the end of the video what files I save and export to, but this is just for the SVG. Okay, right, open the Inkscape, click File, Open, find your design. So it is St. Patrick's Day one color, and it's the PNG file. Open it, let the default, you don't need to change anything on there. Now, what you do is you click on it with your left-hand click, so it selects the whole design. Now what you do is go up to Path and click on Trace Bitmap. We're going to do a single color because this is what this video is going to be, is on the single. The next video will be the 2 colors. Click on the single, update, and you can see the designs there. Click OK, and now you can see you can move it into 2 separate. So move the top aside, go to your bottom one, which is your PNG file, and you will delete that one. So once it's deleted, select your other design, the design that you haven't deleted. Now the computer is going a bit slow at this time, but move it across. I put it back into the square. It doesn't have to be, but it's just, I like things in a nice neat box. If you can see, I've selected the node and all the little nodes are there. Now those nodes are used to guide your cutting machine around. So basically it's telling it how far to go straight, everything. Just imagine it like that. Or if it needs to go into a curve. So you need those nodes for cutter, for circuit cutter, for silhouette, whichever. But when you go through, just check that there's no nodes floating in the middle of nowhere. Sometimes they will pick up the tiniest of marks, which you don't want. Now what you do is you go to File, Save As, and you will save it as an SVG file. Okay, if you can see there, I've got high quality. That one is the Affinity, but that will not work with a cutter. So save it as an SVG. Then I always do a DXF because of some of the old silhouettes and some of the old plotter cutters uses the DXF file. I don't use the higher one, I use the lower one, I think it's the 12. And I will save it as an SVG file, as a DXF file. That's for the silhouette cutters. Right, so open up your Easy Cut Studio. Now I use Easy Cut Studio. It's a good program to have, especially if you're selling files, SVG files for cutting machines. This one is basically can fit nearly all the machines. So if you have a problem, you can always sort it out with the customer. There is tons of files. I'm not going to really play with the settings, but you can do. I mean, I've got a UK cutter, but I can do for silhouette, circuit, or Cricut, and scan and cut with this, which is so it means that you can sell to more people. Right, so first we need to open your design. You open it as an SVG, find your folder, and that's why I always keep everything in folder names so that I can find it, and I will have subcategories. Big word for me. So, right, I need the SVG file. So I open it. As you can see the outline. And there we are. Adjust the size. I always make it for about an A4 size. That way then I know it's not going to be too big. So now we've got the file the size we want. So we go to File, Export. Now what we're going to do is export it as an SVG file. So again, if you have it in subcategories, it makes life so much easier when you can find the files. So where's my St. Patrick's Day? It should be here somewhere. You know, it's typical when you want to find something quickly. Right, so I've saved it as a YouTube. So there we are. Open it. Open your file. Sometime today would be good. Right, there we are. So now what I want to do is I want to save it as a design space. So I've got the one color, SVG. So now if you see, I put design space, circuit. The best is to have that as a separate line. So when people have got circuit cutters, they know, or Cricut cutters, they know to open, that's the file they need. Best when selling these files is to name them as simple as possible because you might know what they are, but they won't. Now, as you can see, it comes as 755 and only the select area. And this is very important. It says design space compatible. Make sure that's clicked. That's the most important thing. So click OK. And there we are. Now what I do is, because it's a cut file, not everyone has got a circuit cutter. Lucky to have a circuit cutter. Some people have got the scan and cut. So click the scan and cut and save it as the same name of the title, but you're going to save it as a scan and cut. You can also put on there scan and cut, which I didn't do, but most people will know what a FCM file is. Okay, so we save that one. Next, I always open up the circuit design space. It's free to download, and it is worth having. So now what we do is we choose our design just to double check that it's working. So we browse and we open and we look for design space. Click open and there it is. It's open beautifully. You know it's going to cut and you won't get any complaints. Now let me show you why you don't use the Affinity SVG. So I'm going to open up the Affinity one, the high quality. Now if someone's using a printer or anything, that's fine. But when you're using a cutter, it's quite crucial that you have the cut files. So what you do is open that one. Now, see, it's blank. Now imagine if you've just gone and paid £3 or £2.90 for design and it's blank. You're not going to be happy. I know not everyone has a circuit cutter or a scan and cut, but always think most of the people that buy SVG files are wanting it for the circuit or the silhouette. Make sure that it can cut in the file, because if it doesn't, you're going to have nothing but complaints. What I would suggest is if you have or can afford to buy a small cutter of any kind so that you can test the files before. The next video, our part 2, will be how to do coloured layered SVGs. Please excuse the cats eating, the dogs snoring. I'm definitely going to be moving back into the shed. There's too much noise in the house. So I will show you how to do a layered SVG file. Remember to like and subscribe. If you have any comments, please put them in the bottom and I'll try and reply as soon as possible. Right. See you on the next video. Bye.